Max-Migold for the wonderful opportunity. And I encourage you to do the same to start the program.
My name is Adelinji Clements. I work with Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I joined
Max-Migold for the wonderful opportunity. And I encourage you to do the same to start the program.
My name is Adelinji Clements program. I enjoy work with Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I joined
Max-Migold for the wonderful opportunity. And I encourage you to do the same to start
the plumbing practical. It was also and it helped me a lot to improve on at my own site. I started working in Ministry of Foreign Affairs since 2007, and from resident at Ikoyi to our training school at Alon Badagry from 2012, and from there, since then, they tried to introduce Max-Migold to me, in which my organization see that from there I can still gain more experience to improve my career. And since when I joined in the area of registrar, asset register, I improve on it. In the area of procurement, I make sure that all our materials and everything is being kept safely. And in the area of maintaining the generator annually also, it helped me a lot. Both the cleaning of the environment, it was so also, and Max-Migold we still continue to be great, and we enjoy Mr. Paul, Mr. Emmanuel. I can't remember all our resource people. We really enjoy them, and I pray that God Almighty will continue to help them and will continue to promote the Max-Migold. Thank you.
Mastercraft program started. I attended a training before, a free training before the Mastercraft program, and I told myself that it would make a lot of sense to do the Mastercraft program. And just my first day at the class, I learned a lot. It was like I wasn't even practicing facilities management all this while. I went home and I went home very fulfilled, and I told myself I have no regrets starting this program. Before then, I didn't have I wasn't called for this interview. I started dropping my CV in some company. Then I got this interview, and when I got there, the way I related with people interviewing me, they really knew that I had a serious idea of what facilities management is all about. And before now, trust me, if I did that interview before the class had started, I don't think I would have gotten the job, because a lot of things I had learned from this place, contract management, facilities management in total, what it's all about and what it entails, brought me out and made me stand out in the interview process. I was able to tell them much about contract management. I was able to tell them much about KPIs and how to supervise and all of that, and how to manage a building and how to manage facilities in the building and what to look out for. And very, 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 very impressed with my section. I'm 100% sure it was due to the few lectures, because I've not even gone too far in Mastercraft program when I went for this interview. But the few things I've learned in the class got me all the ideas, and I was able to put forward and I was able to get the job.
I'm Matthew Ojonuga Friday. Actually, I'm very grateful to be part of this free training. I'm working with Asego Nigeria Limited as a maintenance and servicing engineer. Also, I'm a mechanical engineer by profession. I've been looking into opportunity to build up a career in facility management. And thank God I came across the Max-Migold online on WhatsApp, and I came to the opportunity and I came for the training. Actually, the first time of being here, and I can attest to the fact that the training was absolutely wonderful. I learned something new, very new that I've not learned before. And Mr. Paul is a very wonderful lecturer and also a mentor to say, because what I have downloaded into for this training is worth enough to be a mentor to align with. And I believe as time goes on, I promise to get close and learn more from him, because I believe he has much to deliver. And also I want to comment on his efforts so far to make sure the training was wonderful in terms of free lunch and every other facilities and things which have made available for everybody.
My name is Ubote Okoyeno. I heard about Max-Migold from a friend referred me, and actually I just concluded my MSc. I've not actually had another experience different from academics. But coming here today actually has opened my eyes to a lot of opportunities. It has actually made me believe there are lots of opportunities outside academics in terms of the management aspects, the HSC and more of it. And for the speaker, it was very fantastic. He got everybody wow, really made good points, and he changed the idea and thought into very effective. And referring people, I think he has actually brought out the positivity for you to want to tell people about what you have learned, which I believe you want to motivate people to come and do better.
My name is Anayo Victor Waboa. I work with Plus World Realtors. Max-Migold has done a great job at lecturing us on facility management training, fundamentals and specific core competencies in facility management. I really love it because it helped me improve myself better despite what I've known. And there are still new developments, still new process to the way you carry out facility management procedures in your workplace. I was opportunity to ask a lot of questions and get a lot of answers to my questions, and these questions and these answers will rather help me perform better at my work. Yes, Paul Erubami, I've known him for a while now, and he has been so good, he has been so nice. In fact, he called me up this morning, we talked about one or few things concerning facility management and my growth, and I really appreciate him for such an opportunity. Despite not paying any dime for this, yes, we received so much value. We've been here since morning and we are still receiving, and we don't want to go home. I think this training is profitable for everyone who is ready to grow a career in facility management. Thank you very much.
The very first day in class was, my God, wow, you know, the knowledge, everything in the class was just wow. That's what I can say. And today, you know, I've been to different interviews, I've done very well, I've represented very well, and I've worked in one or two organizations. Currently, where I worked, you know, I just joined them this December, and they just made me the head of facilities. Number one was that when I came, there wasn't system at all. Nothing like PPM. They always break down of, you know, service and all of that. So first thing I came, I took the stock, I do a PPM, I create an asset register. They were like, what's going on? So I created the system, all to the knowledge I gained through this institution.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hajia Zainab Saleh, and I'm the Managing Director of Brains and Hammers Facility Management Limited and White Oak Management Services Limited. Both are facilities management companies. Not too long ago, I decided to enroll my staff in a masterclass program organized by Max-Migold Limited. For some of us that are not aware, Max-Migold Limited is a physical facilities management, training, inspection, technology advisory firm. Now, I've known them for quite some time, and I chose, not too long ago, to put my staff through a training program under Max-Migold. And I can assure you that it was worth it. Why do I say that? What value has it brought to me? Or what value has it brought to my staff and to the organization generally? I can assure you there was a change. Why do I say that? Their mindset has begun to change. The way they look at attending to activities and tasks that have been given to them have changed. I mean, I even hear it in their conversations. And when you hear my staff discussing about tasks or projects that have been given to them to execute, you hear them saying, oh no, I remember in class they told me not to do this. Let's do it this way, and let's see how it's going to affect the work at the end of the day. The long and short of all what I'm trying to say to you is that if you have an opportunity to send your staff or yourself to Max-Migold, please do it, because it is worth it. And I can assure you that you will see positive changes in your staff, and which will eventually impact in your organization. Do go ahead, work with Max-Migold. You will definitely get what it is you're looking for. Have a lovely day.
We have a lot of courses actually, but I have two that are more interesting to me, like procurement management and facility maintenance strategies. Procurement management, it exposes us to so many things about procurement, the difference between procurement and purchase, all that you need to do to abide by the ethics of procurement standard, everything that you need to succeed as an FM, in procurement. And at the same time, maintenance, facility strategic maintenance is one of the main things as an FM that really, puts you at that top, that will really make people appreciate and respect you. The essence of facility, maintenance strategy, the whole essence and objective is to save costs, is to ensure that, the operations of that organization keep running. That's the whole essence of facility operation maintenance. And in those, we have a lot of processes, the strategies to apply. Like for example, we have talked about the reactive / run to fail maintenance plan. Talk about the preventive maintenance plan and the predictive maintenance plan. So as an FM, I think for it to be top notch, for you to be at the top of your peak, and to be respected in your discipline, you need to understand the three moves that I just mentioned earlier. The reactive, some of what's equivalent or whatever that you allow to be reactive, and the kind of preventive measure you deploy in the process and everything. So for me, it has been a resourceful and expository times in Max-Migold.
Good day, everyone. My name is Ayiba Subu, and facilities manager with Landmark Africa. And before now, I used to be facility manager with my church university headquarters. I used to be facility manager there. Traditionally, before I saw the need to upgrade myself to world-class facility manager, then I did my research and I got Max-Migold as the preferred trainer for that purpose, which I attended training for 9 months. The 9 months, 3 months was in class, and 6 months was on the field to do our project. And he saw me through to Lagos Business School, which I did my 6 months project there. Gathered a lot of experiences. I saw the value increase in me. So he saw me through to other places like real estate companies, and I worked there for a while before I came to Africa, which practically I felt it that my value increased because of the training experience from for everybody for bringing up this training that has seen what world-class facility managers emerged because of his leadership and the quality of the training.
Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Anayo Onwaboa Victor. I'm a facility manager in one of the oil and gas servicing firm in Lagos, Nigeria. I just want to tell you how my career has been ever enrolling in the FM Masterclass with Max-Migold. It's been awesome, one quantum leap to another. As in, when I started as in early last year in February or so, I couldn't wait to put everything I've learned into action. Although I've been learning, but coming to Max-Migold, there's a distinctive knowledge you're going to learn about FM that if you benchmark it to the experts in every company, you're going to be on the top. Seriously. I carried out a facility condition assessment for where I was working before in an estate I managed. I did my facility maintenance planning and record. I also went as far as doing a more advanced PPM. Apart from what they are doing, with the experience and knowledge I got from Max-Migold. In fact, right now, I don't know if there's any equipment or facility that I don't understand. Because of the tutelage I received from Max-Migold, you don't just learn from there, you also maintain relationship from there, even when you have problems. Advices come around. But what am I trying to tell you? My career has grown. Even before I left my former place of work, my salary was increased. And early this year, I got this offer. And when negotiating, I negotiated twice of my salary. Yes, you heard me. I'm being paid twice of my former salary in my company. I am the facility manager right now. I give advice, innovative methods, and current issues and solve problems, all because of the knowledge I received from Max-Migold. So to improve your career in facility management and to know more and to understand more, Max-Migold Limited is the best. You will never regret ever attending or paying a figure because the knowledge is for life. Thank you.
My name is Tosi Ogunlade. I'm an architect by profession. I practiced architecture for many years, but I needed to stay back home to take care of my kids for a while. And after that, I needed to bounce back into career. And I thought of picking up what I could do to boost myself. And then I picked up the FM diploma program. I did that, and it helped me to achieve a career leap in the sense that I was able to secure a job as a facility manager to manage an aspect of the Oshodi bus terminal. And it has helped me. The program helped me to learn the essence of proactivity. It helps me to be proactive, to be able to work with my team members. Now, this is a program that is open to anybody from any field. If once you do this program, this facility management diploma program, you'll be taught, you'll be well trained, well taught how to be able to function as a facility manager. This is a program I advise anybody to come into. I will advise you to pick up this program, and you will learn from it. To be well groomed, you will learn a lot, that when you come into managing a facility, you will flow easily. It's prepared in case of emergencies. You learn how to do your maintenance plans. You learn about health, about safety and security. Also to make your assets register. So please register for this program and you will not regret it. Thank you.
The classes. I just thought, the best thing is prefer by master's admission. And after the training, I was scheduled for many interviews. I got to know that it's sourcing for the best people in the job. From the beginning of the year, I went for the interview. And after the training, I was scheduled for many interviews 3 or 4 months before that time. So they were actually interested in me. I got to know that they are sourcing and looking for the best people. From this year, the skills are so they were actually interested in me. The best people.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to another session of the lunch hour. My name is Paul Erubami, and I'll be hosting and leading the conversation this afternoon on a very interesting topic, the hidden role of facility management in talent retention. We have often talked about the impact of facility management on customer perception, how the organization's reputation is perceived by a good corporate ambience brought about by facility management. We'll probably still have another session to dig deep into that, but in today's session, we are looking at the value of facility management to employees, the workforce, the producers within the organization. So I'm sure you are looking forward to this, because when the FM is often asked about its strategic contributions to the organization, this is one way. Usually FMs, find themselves being perceived as cost centers, people who just spend money. They're not producing money, and they don't have any significant impact on organizational success and strategy. So this turns that all around and gives you insight as an FM, as a HR personnel, as a leader in the team, the head of an organization, MD CEO. You need to appreciate what FM does and see how you can harness that value for staff retention and talent acquisition. Okay. Just before I jump right into it, I would like to announce that the 2026, first batch of year 2026 of the FM Mastercraft effectively on Monday. We had a rotation session on Monday. The FM Foundations class we had yesterday. Tomorrow we'll have another class, which is the Strategic Facility Planning class. We look forward to having more people join this class. We still have a 5% discount on full payments, and we have a possibility of you paying a 500,000 deposit and a balance for the class by next month. So those options are still available, and we are admitting into this class till the end of January. We have a digital platform where all courses are saved. The class that we had yesterday, the class that we had on Monday, have all been uploaded into this learning management system. So if you come in today, you can, catch up by going through the courses we've covered, and then watching the videos and engaging with us in the WhatsApp group of the class. So opportunity is still there. But if for any reason you are unable to make the current batch that just started by the end of the month, I would encourage you to start, paying in installments towards the next batch that starts in April. Okay, and then we'll have the final batch for the year starting early August. So instead of waiting till the time when the class is about to start and expressing your interest and frustration of not being able to have the full money, we have provided a program, a means of paying in installments towards it. And for those who pay consistently into these installment plans, what we do is, when it gets to a month to the class, or the month of the class, we usually give you a big chunk out of it as a discount to tidy up and then be in the class. So April is the next, and August after that. Okay. All right. Don't forget that Max-Migold is not just training facility managers. We train facility managers because we want to help build capacity in the industry. We know that we are helping to expand the FM industry by building talents, by equipping professionals with the knowledge, skills, and the tools they need to excel in the industry. And that is paying off for us, because we can deploy facility management operations and maintenance services, at any scale nationwide, because we have the critical network people we have trained, and we always provide placements for our trainees and graduates. And companies that are looking to hire facility managers, you can come to us. If you have a facility management project, a developing project, a construction project, and you need consultants, any aspects of the built environment, Max-Migold is there. We're also at the forefront of cutting-edge solutions for the built environment, from energy efficiency, smart buildings, IoT, controls and monitoring, all the way to building information modeling, BIM, and software. We recently have deployed several software to organizations to manage their facilities. And if you are looking for a software where you subscribe on a monthly basis, we have that. If you are looking for a software where you own it, you pay once and it's yours virtually, we just load it for you in your server, you self-host, and you run without having to pay licenses. We also have that offer for you. So please reach out to us for any of these services. And if you, as a facility manager, you have a project, you want, technical partnership, consultancy for us to work with you as partners to give your clients the best, we are also available for that. And we do very fantastic, sharing arrangements in terms of revenue sharing arrangement for brokers, estate developers, construction professionals who bring us deals. So reach out to us on our official number, 080-220-20122, and also reach out to us in our official emails, info@maxmigold.com, service@maxmigold.com. The name is Max-Migold. I often see people making the mistake of spelling Max-Migold, M-A-X-I. No, it's M-A-X-M, Max-Migold. So we look forward to engaging with you, and beyond giving you all of these goodies for free, we want to also use these skills that we have and share with you to train to execute jobs in or whatever sector you're operating. Okay, so that being said, let's take a look at this interesting topic: the hidden role of facility management in talent retention. With the rider, people may join for the job, but they stay for the experience your facility creates. In some other session, and maybe in a future session, I'll probably just amplify, there are two sides to FM strategy contribution: the external, the customers. When your supermarket is, top quality facilities, people tend to just believe your prices and buy and behave themselves. When your restaurant is top grade facilities, people just come in and they feel that there's a premium. They eat the same amala with 50,000 and they don't have any qualms because of facility management, the ambience, the feeling, the cool air, the aroma, the artwork, the cleanliness, the quality of the furniture. People pay a premium for facility management if you can provide it, right? So businesses are relying on facility managers to help create that reputation, that esteem, that level that makes people not want to see what you are offering as cheap, because, and then they also trust the organization because they see the kind of environment you're operating in. They see how employees are dressed and how they behave themselves professionally. That gives a sense of quality. There's already that this is, a good quality environment. So if you now come into the organization, the people who have to deliver, results, processes, products, services to customers, they too are coming in because they feel this environment is structured. There are systems in place to get things done. There are resources to get things done. Now, think about it. If you are invited to an interview, and upon getting to the place, you are met with smells and smoke, for example, and then the people address you very shabbily. You look around and it looks as if people are probably not, you go to the toilets, you find that the place is unkept. Some bulbs are missing. Tables and chairs, broken. The walls are stained, not painted properly, and the place doesn't look representative. When they get to negotiating salary, I'm sure you start pulling some crazy figures just so they can get out of there. You're really not interested in working in that place. But if you come to an environment that is really corporate, the ambience, the look and feel gives you that feeling that this is a place where I would like to be represented. I would like to represent this organization. I have a sense that this brand has something behind it. If they can present this kind of space to entertain me on my day of coming to an interview, for example, there should be something behind it. There must be some kind of structure and system in place. Now, whether you find it in when you get in or not is a different question, but the first thing is first impressions, right? But then you now get into the organization. Oh, hallelujah, I got the job, and then you are now working, and you now realize that resources are not provided for work to be done. Chairs are broken, they're not being mended or fixed or replaced. Internet is doing that booting for 10 hours and nobody's bothered about the bandwidth. The place smells and the cleaners are all, disorganized and shabby. You start counting down, isn't it? You start counting down. There's nobody that would enter such a place and not think that, oh boy, it looks like I've entered one chance. Or the day you resume, after that nice feel at the reception and the conference where they interviewed you, you ended up in one basement cellar, with moisture and damp all over the place. You will start skipping work. In fact, you start having excuses. You start being ill. I mean, sometimes ill when environment is proper. So point is, the facilities create a draw for talent. Now, you might think that, oh, people are looking for work. People also, everybody looking for work also care about where they work. So if they accept your shabby facility, they are counting down, they are looking for another work. They're not concentrating, they're not focusing on what they're doing there. Let's just, accept that fact, right? So first, the draw. This place is attractive, this place is good, I want to work here. That's the first one. Then secondly, the retention. What makes people stay? What makes them not to start thinking of, I want to leave, I want to leave? Now, there are other things, so there, of course, the structure of the team, their ability to do the work they are given, having resources to execute the job, the amount they are paid, the benefits they get, they all add to it. But if the physical environment is not healthy, if the physical environment is not safe, if the physical environment is not secure, if the physical environment does not contribute to a state of mental well-being, where someone can feel comfortable and relaxed and focused to work, bet you that person is already thinking, I can't be in this place for long. So as facility managers, let's not take it for granted. Let's not take it for granted. Sometimes you put certain things in the restroom because you want to buy a cheap toilet roll, and the toilet roll is in the restroom. But the moment you use a wet hand to touch it, it dissolves in your hand. You see all that, it turns into dust. You basically have to start doing that to get it off your hand. And you're wondering, so why do we have to buy this level of cheap? Or you get to a place where the hand wash is like a slimy something, and it doesn't even wash the hands, just a caustic chemical they put in there. You start wondering, why is this place so cheap and not caring? So in today's session, we're going to really dive into how facility management can give employees a sense of belonging, how you can boost productivity, how you can give the ambience of we care for you, and because we know there's a lot that's on your plate to deliver as an employee, we want to make sure you have all that you need to be able to do it. That's exactly what we're trying to do as facility managers. So this is the kind of thing that your directors and CEOs and MDs and HRO heads are always thinking about. But we want to create that partnership because we, as strategic enablers of the business success, need to be an enabler of human resource value creation and performance. So understand how facility management directly influences employee retention, recognize workplace factors that affect employee satisfaction and loyalty, link FM performance to productivity, engagement, and employer branding, identify practical FM strategies that support talent attraction and retention, align facility management services with HRO and organization culture and goals. We typically consider recruitment and retention as HRO. HRO is the custodian of the process. They are the one that will receive information on the requirements from the hiring department in the core business. They will channel that into public communication that people will read and say, I want to apply. They will set up the interviews where they participate, but the hiring department is the one that really makes decisions as to who to hire into the department. So they bring up, they midwife the entire process. When management finally says, okay, we settle for Mr. A and Mr. C and D, they document all of those paperwork and, get to the right person to sign. In all, they are midwifing a process that helps identify the right candidates, bring them in for screening and interviews, and then employment and settling them through orientation and training and providing the resources to do the job. But you see, that moment someone sees the advert of your organization, they can easily form an opinion about what kind of organization is it. But not very often, not many people know all the companies to be able to say this one will be this or that. The first real impression will be when the person walks in for that interview. And that's where facility management makes its first impression. And then some interviews quickly turn into your organization trying to sell itself to the right candidates. Not every time you are trying to screen people out and say, oh, these ones are not good. We've shortlisted these numbers that are good. By the time you finish shortlisting those numbers that are good, and you start trying to convince them to accept an offer, you now realize that it's a different ball game. You thought you just throw an offer at them and then they'll just pick it. Those who really know what they are doing, who are really doing very well where they are, will be selective, not just to pick any offer you throw at them. They'll be very selective. They will consider what they are walking into before they make a decision whether to accept it or not. So workplace conditions, the facility design, comfort, reliability, shape, the overall employee experience, safety, cleanliness, functionality, the trust and morale of the employees is boosted when they see that there's a deliberate effort to design the spaces and services to give them a comfort level of that makes them feel that this place values us, and then, of course, when providing services in a space, there will always be disruptions and downtime and a little bit of an issue here and there. But people know when there is a deliberate attention, there's a deliberate care, there's intentional effort to make sure that things are restored back as quickly as possible. So that's what we're talking about here. So it's not just HRO hiring people and throwing them anywhere. Facility managers play a major role in the hiring and retention process. Uh, so if you think about the basic things like lighting levels, uh, temperature, comfort, cooling, noise levels, these are things that affect focus, mood, and productivity. So even when employees stay and your facility does not enhance productivity, does not, it does not support focus, you will just be, the organization will just be paying salaries from month to month, and very little will be achieved. Talk about poor layout and overcrowding, great stress. You have to juggle through several people to get to your desk every time, and you have to shift, make I pass every time. You will find out that you will sit down more of the time, not because you are working, but because you don't want the inconvenience of standing up. You can even hold on to your filled up bladder for hours just because you don't want to, cross through all the hoops that have been placed on your path in that environment. And the same goes with cleanliness and air quality. Many people don't realize how air quality affects health and concentration. Your brain will start shutting down intermittently, stop focusing, stop being productive. You'll be reading over and over and over the same page of documents. You'll be on the same piece of reports, and for a whole day, you are not done. You'll be distracted. You'll be doing a little bit of that, a little bit of that, not able to do any one to completion just because you may not know. Your brain is being bombarded by oxidative stress around you. In one instance, I had an experience where a newly completed complex, I had a beautiful office. It was really, really beautiful. And that top grade grade A construction and furnishing. But I realized something. Every time I'm in the office, within 2 hours of getting into the office, I begin to feel dizzy, sleepy, losing concentration and losing focus, unable to take decisions, being tardy with things I need to do. And it will happen for like 3 hours. I'm thinking it's a headache. I probably take a paracetamol, but it still doesn't help. But if I leave the office and say, let me go to a hospital and meet a doctor and find out, what's wrong with me, between the office and the hospital, I'm already well. I'm already okay. When I go home from work, I don't feel any of those symptoms. If I was working from home or studying, a scripture or a textbook or any kind of material at home, I don't have that completely shut down feeling. It went on and on and on. And this actually stretched for almost 3 months. And the more I talk about it with my colleagues and people in my teams on the sites, they'll probably come up with all kinds of things. This is your seat, it's a very prestigious one. People might be interested, so they probably are doing some things to make you uncomfortable, you can leave. I was just laughing. I don't believe in such things. But it took me almost 3 months to come to terms with the fact that I was being deprived of oxygen when I stepped in there. So this is what happens. The cleaners come in, they clean all of the spaces. They spray all of those, your polishes on the wood surfaces. They spray the ones on the window surfaces. They use some air freshener with some detergents and stuff to mop the floor. Now, that room is an enclosed room. The windows are always closed because the ACs are always working. And nobody taught that you should allow fresh air to come into the space because the place was looking too nice not to have fresh air, but there was no oxygen. So for an FM who is managing a place and is not thinking about how does oxygen get into this space, for example, if I'm using a central air conditioning system, do we have a damper system that actually, do we have a system for tracking the level of carbon CO2 in the space, so that we can tell if the space, the air is healthy or not. I learned that early in my career. And that's from very clean, very, highly placed environment, let alone some environments that, you are seeing mold. You're actually seeing mold, Mold is a microscopic organism. They are fungi, they're in the air. But it can get so concentrated due to moisture in walls, in wood surfaces, on furniture and the rest, that you not only smell it, you can actually see the gray and green and stuff around in some spaces. At that point, that space is no longer habitable by man or animal. And yet, many FMs don't realize that that is a danger to the health of people. So there's a lot of things, when we talk about facility management, we keep talking about health and safety in terms of injuries and accidents. No, the subtle ones are even more dangerous. The thing that causes illnesses and diseases. People come to work and pick it up and go home with illness and diseases. It's even worse. And FMs need to elevate themselves beyond the mundane, because you just have to get quickly done with the electrical fault and water supply issues and start caring for the people who use the spaces that you manage. That is the level of elevation we're talking about for FMs in 2026 and beyond. Not we are still battling with sweeping well and cleaning and ensuring people have the right PPEs and the rest. Those are so mundane and basic that you should close them all out and start thinking of elevated path to improving the quality of life of your users. Things like fatigue and strain. I talked to an FM once and he said, in our office, if you break your chair, you pay for it. I said, no. I sat on the chair to do the work. The chair has a useful life. There should be a time frame where the chairs are checked and fixed if there are defects, whether obvious or not. Screw up certain things, tighten some things, replace some springs and hydraulic and whatever. And then there's a time to replace the chair. So when the chair breaks, you don't say, keep using it, keep managing it. No, you don't do that, because at that point you are caring for the asset more than the person. And so many people will, because they don't want to be queried for breaking chair, they will end up managing the chair for a long time. I went to an office and somebody said he got up from his chair and offered the chair to me. As soon as I sat on the chair, almost threw me off to one side. What's going on here? Oh, he's saying, so this is how I'm managing it. Just sit like this. And this is how this person has been sitting for like weeks, because the FM will create a report that he broke a chair, and as such, he doesn't want that. For goodness sake, we have to start, policies that are anti-people. That's basically the truth about workplace management for the current era. We cannot have a system that works against the productivity, performance, quality of life of the individuals who performs the job. Okay. And when you have this level of care, by the way, this kind of care I'm describing is not really expensive. It's not really expensive. You don't need to get expensive gaming chairs of 500,000 to provide ergonomy. For example, there are chairs of 50,000 that provide ergonomy, proper supports, and then you don't need premium costs to deliver a security system that works. You don't need high cost to provide clean environment. So it can be done if you start focusing on the individual, the persons you are trying to provide for. It helps to shape the narrative. it also helps them to have that perception that they're being cared for, and they will in turn care for the facilities that they have. In one recent experience I had in the University of Lagos, where I lecture in the master's in facility management program, I realized that students behave as if the facilities belong to some enemy. They trash the facilities, they slam doors, they pull off chairs, seats to play with. You know, they some ridiculous stuff. They put on massive air conditioning systems. One person will come into a large hall, put on like 4 or 5 of those air conditioners, stay there for about 1 hour, and stroll away without putting anyone off. So as I observe this kind of behavior, I started thinking, what exactly drives this behavior? Is it wickedness on the part of the student, or is it a disconnect, a lack of communication between the managers of the facilities and the students who use the facility, a lack of proper process for requesting for what they need, and lack of connection in informing the students and the users of the facilities on what's available and what can be done, how to address the issues they are having. So it's a very complex problem, but that orientation needs to happen. I need to start from, one, providing basic solutions. The toilets the toilet can be leaking, pouring mess all over the place for weeks without being fixed. You see windows are broken, and nobody's even taking notes of what that is to fix. So providing the system that works, and then begin to engage to have shared ownership of these facilities. Because as soon as people begin to feel a sense of pride that their university, their public infrastructure, their organization, public or private or religious organizations, they feel a sense of ownership. It's been provided at high costs, to certain demographics, and we are happy that there's a focus. People are now looking at us, are now asking us what we need to be comfortable, to work well, to study well, right? And then as you are doing that investment, you are creating that connection. People now begin to feel that sense of pride. Once that begins to happen, you will see a bandwagon effect of network corrections taking place within themselves. One person will begin to advocate for better behaviors, and others will begin to buy into it, because the managers are also committing themselves to providing the resources needed, for work and play and everything, study and the rest. So it's that focus. Don't just take it for granted that the people I have are bad. They will steal tissue from the toilets, therefore give them the worst type of tissue. They will take soap away, and therefore we pour water into the soap cans, and we do some of those things reactionarily, and what you get is a downward spiral of quality, a continuous disconnect, a widening of the gap between the end users and the organization and management, because what you're creating is, we don't like you, and they are also saying, since you don't like us, we don't like you and anything you present, and you see that continuous banter, and the facilities suffer, productivity goes down, and nobody can fix that situation. So the FM needs to step up. You're not just providing for the people, you're providing assets, you're providing for the people, and you are creating an alignment with management philosophy and strategy. That's the big thinking that elevates you in this career. So let's talk about safe and healthy environments. What impact does it have? Safety standards, people feel protected. They feel a sense of confidence when safety standards are enforced. Sometimes when you're enforcing safety standards, it looks as if you are being punitive, right? But over time, people see that behaviors, are improving. The assets are being protected, and there are less and less accidents, and so on. People just feel a sense of happiness over time. Then ergonomic and hazard-free workspaces. This reduces injuries and absenteeism. Somebody will feel like going to work. When you get back from work and your back feels so pain because you sat down for 3 or 4 hours, or maybe the entire 8 hours of the day, and your back is so broken. Tomorrow, if you don't feel like getting up from bed, you just call and say, I'm sick, right? But if going to work gives you that pleasure, you have that, you have all the things, economic resources provided for you to work where you feel a sense of ownership and a sense of confidence that that place is going to care for you, and you want to go back every day. Same thing with clean, well-ventilated areas. Think about my own experience. Many people are experiencing this today, but they don't know that it's oxygen deprivation that is causing the issues they are having. So employees are more likely to stay when they feel secure and cared for. That's the bottom line in all of this. Okay. So as facility managers, we start at the bottom of the of the pyramid, right? We provide the basic infrastructure, facilities, equipment, services. But as we step up and start getting to know why our jobs exist, why our profession exists, which is the purpose defined in the ISO 41017-2017, 41011-2017, is to improve the quality of life of the building user and the productivity of the organization, right? So once we understand that, we begin to get, use higher level considerations and thinking to decide what we provide, how we provide it, how we communicate, how we plan, how we schedule, how we provide information to the users. So ensure ergonomically designed workspaces for reduced strain and discomfort, maintain clean, well-ventilated and healthy indoor environments, provide access to wellness-focused amenities like break areas and quiet zones, support mental health through calm, safe, and thoughtfully organized spaces, respond promptly to facility issues that could negatively affect staff well-being. And then layouts. Some spaces are so rigid that someone does not have a space to just get up and take a stretch or walk to. It's almost as if from your house into your box and back home. Open and flexible spaces encourage teamwork and spontaneous interactions. Quiet zones and private areas enable focus on directed work. Amenities like meeting rooms, breakout areas, and lounges enhance productivity. Thoughtful furniture placement and space flow reduce distractions. Access to technology and resources supports efficient collaboration and problem solving. So, even if you do have a solid stack of locked in furniture for work, you need to just have corridors and lounges and open spaces where people can step out, because the whole idea is you want to encourage movement. You want to encourage someone to be able to get up and take a stroll every now and then for health reasons and to be able to focus and get more done. Now, as facility managers, organizations now are beginning to compete at another level for customers. The level of sustainability. Customers are beginning to attach sentimental value to organizations that they acquire service and goods from, who are sensitive to the environment. So as a facility manager, you already have a 30 to 40% responsibility, because the built environment is that much corporate when it comes to the hazards that hurts the environment, from greenhouse gas emissions to waste production that clutters the earth and so on and so forth. FMs already control that much danger to the environment. So we must be seen to be working sustainably to reverse our negative impact. So gradually taking on some renewable sources of energy helps to mitigate or reduce our impact from diesel and gas emissions. Begin to bring about organic approaches to air freshening, for example, to providing resources in the office like printing and the rest, going more digital to save materials, reducing costs, reducing transportation, and all of those things that helps to increase greenhouse gas emission. Our organizations are now beginning to gather those data to support efforts to get certifications for our buildings that we are sustainable, certifications that were energy efficient, that we can, publish as part of marketing material that we can submit for quality compliance to certain agencies and so on and so forth. So environmental, sustainability and governance is now a big buzzword. It's not just a buzzword, it's now the in thing when it comes to organizations that are rising very fast, globally. So facility managers, you have to basically just gauge the pulse of your organization and see where it is on the path of sustainability for you to begin to, adopt more and more sustainability initiative. But relating this to what we are discussing today, employees feel a sense of pride when your organization has those certifications, when it has those statistics to boost, to prove that it is a sustainable organization. Purpose-driven employees value workplaces that reflect corporate ESG commitments. FM alignment with ESG goals enhances talent attraction, engagement, and retention. And then there is this thing about service reliability. When people come to work, they expect that the AC will work, they expect that there will be light, they expect to have water running, they just expect things to run. If you are always having to come around and give excuses upon excuses on why things are not working, that's not a reliable environment. Employees tend to have that confidence that they can keep doing their job and there will be no issues because you are there, the FM is there, everything is under control. It builds confidence, it builds trust in the organization. And then FMs should start moving away from that. We handle buildings to we are strategic enablers. HRO have successfully moved in that direction 10, 15 years ago. HRO used to just be simple admin staff who push papers and moderate or conduct the process of recruitment, talent acquisition, and training and the rest. But now they are now positioning themselves to management as strategic enablers of the success of the organization. So FMs who do bulk of the work, because when people come into the organization and they engage with the organization's fiscal and environment, that's facility management. We must begin to translate that effort into strategic communication. One way to do that is to have continuous conversations and alignment with HR. Understanding their requirements when it comes to employee talent acquisition and retention will help us to come up with modern workplace trends. When you want to renovate or remodel your facility, you come up with designs that reflect ambience that the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas, want to work in. Those kinds of interaction where you are bringing latest trends, and you are doing this because you want to have the best people choose your organization. That changes everything. It's easier for you to get the right policies passed, budgets released, when you can frame the language as that of strategic enablement, strategic support. we know, we understand exactly what the missions, the kind of staff we want to hire, the kind of work we are trying to achieve, the kind of customers we are trying to satisfy, the kind of targets we are setting. And these are the kind of people that will do the work. We want these people to be able to accept the offers we make and stay and deliver this work. Once that is the premise of what you are asking for when it comes to workplace infrastructure, services, and amenities, it becomes easier to get approved. So no longer start speaking of what you do as if it's just they tell us to bring chairs, tell us to put light. No, that's not it. We have a higher purpose for what we are doing. Okay. And then if this strategic value proposition begins to yield results, can you track it? Do you have a way of measuring it? Track employee satisfaction related to workplace comfort, safety, and amenities. Do surveys regularly so that people can tell you, because if you don't have this data, you can't speak the same language next year. This strategic value proposition of we enable HR to attract the best employees, we help to retain them, we make sure they are productive so that there's value for money for the organization. It needs to be supported by data. So I need to continuously do surveys to gather this data. Of course, working with HR, monitor absenteeism, turnover, and retention trends linked to facility conditions. Use feedback surveys and engagement scores to assess FM impact. Analyze service response times and issue resolution effectiveness. Align metrics with HR and operational goals to demonstrate FM value. So once you begin to acquire, analyze data at this level, before long, this information comes to become integrated into HR reports, into corporate reports, and you are now seen as a C-suite material, somebody who can be in the executive level in the organization. So into this session that we have covered, it's basically how to up your game as a facility manager, how to begin to move beyond the basic facility management of asset provision, facility maintenance, operations, and HSC at the base level to experience design, to satisfaction and loyalty. You design for employee satisfaction and loyalty so that they can stay. You begin to track how your effort is beginning to add to the reasons people are keeping their jobs in the organization and they are doing well. You become someone that enhances the organizational culture, and then you have a way of tracking the impact of all that you do as facility managers to boost organizational success. So that's our session for today. I hope you have picked up one or two things. I want you to indicate if you want to ask a question, because I've provided a few minutes for discussion at the end of this presentation. All right, thank you. Ifeoluwa, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for the session, and thanks for all you do. Also, thanks for helping me identify one of a challenge I'd not been able to, nail, which is lack of oxygen in my immediate environment. So my office is a place that has been in existence for almost 15 years. And when you were speaking, I just realized that really there's no window in that space. I realized that my best productive time is between 7 a.m. when I get in and max 12. Anything after that, I'm literally struggling. I'm struggling. I tell people that I only do what is important. After that time, I'm not able to do anything, serious. So the question is, how do I record or suggest them, putting a window there? or
Okay.
what we use?
Okay.
How we suggest I go about that? Thank you very much.
Okay, so it depends on the kind of ventilation system the space is built with. Is this central air conditioning or split unit air conditioning?
It's central.
Central. Okay, so that central air conditioning investigates if it has uh, air intake, fresh air intake mechanism built into it.
Okay.
Yeah, so investigate that. If it does not have fresh air intake mechanism built into it, do two things. If the structure does not permit a window, use a fan. There are ventilation fans that can actually bring air in. So you could the way you have exhaust fan, right, that takes smell out of toilets, right? You have the reverse fan that you can drill a hole through the wall, mount the fan, and that hose that goes outside is not to take air out. The fan blows reverse, so it takes fresh air into that space. So if you can't have a whole window, you can have that. So there are three solutions: ventilation system, air intake valve system, like what we call a damper in the air handling units that brings cool air. Just make sure that fresh air can mix with it. And you can achieve, you can also ensure that you know exactly how much air you are having by installing a CO2 sensor. There is a simple CO2 sensor you can get on Konga for 25,000 or less. Just mount it there. It will tell you the level of oxygen that you have in that space. Yeah. So as it drops lower, if your air handling unit is not automated to respond to oxygen level, then you manually open the damper to allow fresh air in the AHU. But if that is not built into the AHU, then install this fan system where you pipe out a hose out, and then you have a fan that sucks that air into that space, and you can have fresh air.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would write that out.
Similarly, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Whose name did you call?
Similarly, I'll come to you, Mr. Baba.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you very much for this lecture, as I learned a lot of things. So when you were giving your illustration on how you were not really productive in the morning, I was even about to say it could be mold and everything, but you eventually mentioned it at the end of the day. So there are some situations, I've seen some stories online where some landlords were even sued because of that. They were wondering why their child was having reactions and so many things for about 2 years. So they had to see that under the rugs there were a lot of molds that was in the compound and everything. But in some places I've seen in Nigeria, how can you treat mold effectively? Because most of the solutions I hear from people is just to paint over it, and I don't know whether that's a long lasting situation.
It's not a
So
solution.
I don't know if you have any solution. Kindly let me know how
Very good.
you can
Very good.
effectively solve that.
First, have a humidity sensor. You can get one for 15 or 20K, put it in that space. It will show you the level of humidity you have in that space, right?
Okay.
That's the first thing. Then two, there are dehumidifiers, little box fans that that picks the moisture in the environment and condenses them into water that you can take out, right? So they are not floating in the environment. And for those of us who use air-conditioned environments and we are always putting it off because we are cold, I would rather advise you to dress up and leave the AC on, because the AC have a way of taking out moisture. So don't always have that feeling that AC causes pneumonia and so on. So instead, lag yourself up and let the AC take out your moisture. Every time you look outside your air conditioning unit where you have the drain, you see water flowing out of there. Where is that water coming from? It's the humidity in your environment. You understand? So the minute you can control humidity, it starves mold of breeding ground within your space. So that's the main solution you can adopt.
But I noticed that when in these places that have some central ACs, there's inlet and there's also outlet. So what's the basic function of that outlet?
The outlets, okay, so what you have in central AC is one bringing air in, and then the other taking warm air out. So when the cold air comes in, a convection is set up in the room, a movement where the warm air is pushed out, either into the ceiling cross space or into vents that take them out.
Okay. All right, so thank you very much.
You're welcome. Madam Fumi, go ahead. If anybody, you still have a question? I think that must have been internet. It dropped off. Okay, so that's all time can take for today. Thank you for being here. Look forward to seeing you in another session next week, Thursday. And please invite your friends. This is a free session. You are not paying for it, so don't come here. Don't be selfish. Bring everybody on board, okay? Thank you so much, and bye.